Friday morning live, and it's the sun was out this morning a little bit.
For
Becky
a little
Jo.
bit.
We had rain all day yesterday in Tulsa, and we had dense fog last night. Fog
it was
advisory.
bad driving home. It was rough.
Yeah, but you all don't care about that.
Nope.
You only care about the eyewear that we're going to show you today. And so thanks so much for dropping in on our Friday morning live. It happens every Friday morning, 9:30 Central Time, right here at Hicks Brunson Eyewear Studios. And what's our topic for today, Becky Jo?
Our topic for today is tints and transitions, and we're gonna play a little bit of old time telephone just to kind of give you guys a little brief experience of what we kind of get from some of our clients sometimes with some questions that we can easily answer for you. So why don't we just dive right into it?
Okay, so what happens? You're talking about when people call here?
Yeah, when people call us.
Okay, so what happens first? People see our YouTube channel,
Yep.
they see our videos, they see us on Instagram,
Yep.
and they see that we're doing custom tinted lenses,
Yep.
and then they see that we demonstrate that those are also transitions lenses that darken when you go outside. And what do we mean by this? Can you see what I'm talking about? Custom tinted sea glass to blush indoor tint, but when you go outside, it darkens because it's also a transitions lens.
Yes.
So people see that.
Yep.
And then they want something like that. So first what do? They go maybe to their local
They go
optician?
to their local optician, or maybe where they've always got their glasses made for them. Maybe their eye doctor also has a little opticianry lab right there. And they go in and they go, "Doc, I saw this thing on YouTube and I really want it because I think it's totally cool." And the doctor goes, can't have it. It is impossible. And then they call us.
Well, because they say, well, wait a minute. No, I saw some people at this place called Hicks Brunson Eyewear doing it. Like they did it. They showed me here. And they go, no, that just simply can't be done.
No,
that's what they're told by their local eye care provider.
Yep.
And so then they call us.
Yep.
Okay, so the phone rings and they tell us what just happened.
Yeah, they tell us what just happened. And, we try really hard to, not chuckle a little bit in the background. And we're like, yep, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. And they're like, oh, let me really explain the whole thing to you. So they go through this little conversation and you go, no, I understand. It is possible.
Yeah, because I like to say, like, when I hear people, and we get the phone calls and we get the comments also on our YouTube channel, like, I was told tinting a lens that's also a transitions lenses, I was told that can't be done. Mm-hmm. And I always like to say, well, whoever told you it can't be done, really they just mean like they can't do it.
Yeah.
Like they can't do it, but it absolutely can be done. We have dozens and dozens of videos on our YouTube channel where we're showing you that it's been done. So we're just gonna dive all over this today on this live. We're gonna show you our favorite custom tinted transitions lenses in our personal collections.
Yes, in our personal collections, because we both wear it.
We love it. I mean, this is my sea glass to blush tint on my Anna Corinne Carlson Le Chap frame, and it's a beautiful indoor tint. It's about a 30% density. So, we'll talk about tint densities for just a second. It's just dark enough at 30% to kind of show up just a little bit when you're wearing it. So with all the bright lights on me, you're not going to see it as much as when I hold it on in front of white paper, but you see the sea glass in the top, you see the blush, kind of flatters the skin a little bit, the blush color does, so that's what I like about it. And I love the Transitions technology. There's other good photochromic technologies out there. Transitions is one brand. We have to be careful, it's like the technology is called photochromic. One of the leading market leader brands is Transitions, which is owned by Essilor.
Yep.
And we have to be a little bit careful. Some people say Transitions like they say Kleenex, like all tissues are Kleenex, but it's a tissue and Kleenex is a well-known brand. Really, it's photochromic technology, and Transitions happens to make a very good photochromic technology. And this is my frame. I'm using Transitions Gen S, which is the latest installment. Signature Gen S is the latest installment of Transitions technology. And Gen S, the colors were made more true to tone. They are incredibly fast to change. They get dark really fast in under 25 seconds, and they fade back to clear in around 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's 2 minutes
around
for
2
Gen
minutes.
S. Yeah,
for Gen S to go from dark to clear, and a lot of people really liked that because a lot of us are just not very patient, and when we come from outside to back inside, we want to see that lens lighten back up. If it could lighten back up in an instant, a lot of people would like that. I don't mind that it takes a couple of minutes to fade back to clear.
Because my eyes are like adjusting to being outside where it's really bright, and when you come back inside, you know, you want to give your eyes enough time to kind of really settle back into indoor lighting. So when it's slowly fading back, after you've worn it and it's transitioned like 3 or 4 times, you don't even really notice when it is actually transitioning versus it not transitioning.
Yeah, because your eyes do need some time to adjust, and because it happens gradually, you know, you walk in, your eyes are adjusting to the change in light conditions, the lens is gradually lightening up, you can already see it right here gradually lightening up, and it's just, you're always comfortable. It's always a comfortable situation for your eyes because it manages light. I just like to think of it as like it manages the bright light. So, and there's a lot of benefits to that we can dive into, but let's get into some of these other custom tints that we've got.
So this is one from my personal collection. This is, let me hold it this way. This is Bluebell to copper at 30% density. So the top is Bluebell blue to copper at the bottom. I really like it because some people have called in and they're like, oh, is there an indoor tint that helps with blue light? Maybe not helps with blue light, but it allows your eye to kind of relax a little bit. So when I wear this indoors, because we have so much bright indoor lighting because we want people to be able to see our beautiful frames, the top of this lens is blue. So it kind of cuts that harshness at the top that I see when I look around the room in here. But when I look at my computer screen, that copper color at the bottom really softens the brightness that is coming off of my screen and makes it super comfortable to just sit and work on my computer. Now, this particular one, I like browns, I like ambers. This, however, I did with the extra active gray because of the fact that my frame's black. I kind of went with that whole, it needs to kind of match. So when I go outside, this becomes a fabulous black sunglass. And because of that, I have the ability to go about my normal day in and out, whether I am indoors doing my job, whether I am out and about doing all kinds of other tasks and errands and stuff like that. And an indoor tint can actually, I have another one that's in my personal collection here. This is an oversized aviator. And on me, I mean, it is oversized. It is big. It's a 62i. This is my T. Henry. I love it. And I've done the same sea glass to blush in this. And I did this at 30%. Sometimes the materials do matter a little bit because certain materials you're going to get a little bit more richer color. But I paired this with extra active brown. Now the difference between Gen S and extra active brown, where Gen S that Daniel has in his personal Anna Karin, that is going to transition, you know, in about 2 minutes back to clear. Extra active takes about 4 minutes for it to come back to clear. Four to 4.5.
4 to 5, I would say.
Yeah, it just depends on the temperature because temperature does affect how fast even a Gen S is going to transition. If it is really cold outside, it is probably going to take a Gen S transition probably 4 or 5 minutes because the molecules inside that lens are just going to be working a little bit slower because it's cold out. So, you know, we all understand how that works. But with this transition, this just becomes a great full coverage sun aviator, and it is just super cool to wear it.
Yeah, so meanwhile, my Gen S emerald color has completely cleared back up, meaning that all we're left with, I'll just give it one last show, is that sea glass to blush color. So that is one of our more popular colors that we do. It's a custom color that we have here. And we have another color that is quite popular, tint color, and let's see if I can show it to you here. This one's got a mirror coating. This is sky blue. It's a sky blue gradient, and so you can see it's a nice cool blue, and it's darker at the top. It fades to lighter at the bottom, and this is also done on a 30% indoor density, so light enough to wear indoors, light enough to wear at night. But this one has something that the other one I showed you didn't have. This one also has a flash blue mirror. So you see that blue reflection when the light catches it just right, subtle, soft blue reflection. That's what a flash blue mirror is. You have, in the world of mirror coatings on lenses, you have solid mirrors and you have flash mirrors. And flash mirror is just a mirror that's like the intensity of the mirror has been dialed down. So it does reflect, you see the blue color, but it's not super, super distracting. And so this is a little more Hollywood when you start comparing like tints and mirrors together, because it starts to hide your eyes a little bit more. And you'll notice that. And in fact, I want to demonstrate that right now. You've got a mirror on the same color, the same density, the same darkness of tint behind it. Notice it's so much easier to see my eyes with this one, because this one has no mirror. It has a full anti-reflective coating. But, switch back to the mirrored version, and same darkness of tint, but much harder to see my eyes. And that's what happens with a mirror. You've got not only the look that gives you that like nice cool style that the mirrors add, makes it a little harder to see your eyes, blocks a little more light, so there's that advantage. If light is, light management, you need to block a little more light, it does that for you as well. And then what did I do here? I did my favorite of all transitions colors. I did the extra active brown on this one. I'm gonna start with one side only first, so we can see the before and after. So here we have it. Indoor.
Now you're a pirate.
Pirate, yeah, right?
Sorry,
yeah,
I
if it was
couldn't resist
talk
that.
like a pirate day. I don't know. Talk like a pirate day. That's not today, but
no.
I like talk like a pirate day though, like Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
Like I don't like regularly hit up my local Krispy Kreme, but on Talk Like a Pirate Day, like you bet I walk in,
Yeah.
talk like a pirate, and they give me a donut. So, but this is nice dark brown with the flash blue mirror, and look at that blue mirror on brown. Like you catch the blue, you still see the brown on there behind the blue mirror, so it creates kind of a cool effect. And now all I can think about is looking like a pirate, so I gotta fix this right now, and let's go full on outdoor mode. This frame, by the way, guys, this is one of my favorite iconic frames. This is American Optical Samson. And this came out of their, I think, 1940s catalog. It was originally called the AO Full View. It's a classic vintage piece. You see that kind of horseshoe-shaped bridge right there. Any of you that have ever watched the Waltons, when John Boy Walton, Goodnight John Boy, he's writing in his journal at the end of the show. He always puts on a pair of glasses to write in his journal. They look strikingly similar to this. I think they were that American Optical style that this came out of the archives and was recreated from. By American Optical, the same brand. So there you have the outdoor mode. Sorry for that tangent into the Waltons. The outdoor mode with the Transition Extra Active Brown, which is my favorite of all the transitions colors. And you, Becky Jo, may have already hit on this. Like, why do we like brown so much? Why do we like brown so much? This is a personal choice.
It is a personal choice, because some people will come in and I'm like, oh, do you prefer brown or gray? And they look at me like, there's a choice, there's an option. Why would I want one over the other? Gray is more neutral, so it just kind of blankets everything just in kind of a blah tone, in my opinion.
It doesn't change the colors of the landscape. So the green leaves still look green, the blue sky still looks blue. That's what gray does. But brown
makes it all nice and warm and fuzzy and crisp and just really luscious to look through.
Well, it washes everything in brown.
Yeah.
And so some people don't like that, but what I like about it is that it is a high contrast color.
Yes.
So it makes things look sharper.
It does.
Basically, it makes things look sharper when you look through a brown color. And so that's why we like extra active brown. There's another reason we like that's why we like brown.
Yeah, that's why we like brown.
Extra active, a lot of you that follow us know the difference between extra active and Gen S, but good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, Anson. Gerald Myers is in the house if you're still here.
Yep.
Thanks everybody for joining in over on Instagram. Thanks everybody over on YouTube. We appreciate you all being here. Extra active is our favorite transitions technology personally. Because
yes.
It's the only technology that can darken behind the windshield, and it actually works a lot better in warmer weather. Transitions they really nailed it with that technology. There's just nobody else has anything that can really darken to any significant degree that's useful behind a windshield. And even for some, extra active doesn't get dark enough behind the windshield for some, but it gets close to category 2 darkness in most situations, so we love it for that reason.
I have another tint in my personal collection. So this is on my goatee frame. And this is like a lime green at the top, fades to pink. And I love this because of the frame color. Sometimes we pair tints solely based on the frame color. Sometimes we're pairing tints based on what people want to see. They may watch one of our videos, one of Daniel's videos, and go, wow, I really love the way that that blue looks with that silver, or that pink and red looks in that crystal frame. But for myself, every once in a while, I like to be really matchy and make something look amazing with just matching the colors in the frame. We have so many options and can make and create so many colors. The one that I showed you earlier in my personal Tom Davies, that was 2 different tint colors that I put together to create a tint. And this, of course, for me is paired with extra active brown. I just love the feel of the way the world looks looking through a brown lens. And pairing it with an indoor tint, because we're only doing these at some colors 25 to 35%, it just depends on the saturation of the color. You know, it is still light enough that you can see your eye through the lens, but it's not so dark that it makes the transition uncomfortably dark when it transitions, because we don't want that, because we don't want to ever put anybody in an unsafe situation where once their glasses transition, then it's so dark that they can't see.
Somebody had a question on YouTube. Can you get extra active polarized?
Yes, you can.
You can.
You most certainly can.
Yeah, you can get extra active polarized in the gray color only. So you can't get an extra active brown polarized, but you can get an extra active gray color polarized. And you can do any kind of custom tint that we've shown you with the extra active gray polarized. So I think I've shown all of my personal pairs that I have with me, and I wanted to show some other frames that I think would make good transitions, tinted indoor transitions lenses. And this is a piece from Leisure Society that's just beautiful, and they actually made it this way with the non-prescription lenses that it comes with as an indoor tint. This is kind of an, what is this? Kind of an indoor...
It's like a coppery pink.
Yeah, it's like a copper tone. Now, you know, a lot of you who maybe don't require distance prescription, but you want something that just looks good, that maybe even could serve as a... This could actually serve like a good blue light lens for like computer and devices. Mm-hmm. You get a brown tone like this, and it actually is quite soothing when you're looking at computer screens and phone screens, because this shade of brown blocks a pretty high range of blue light at a pretty high percentage. So it's really soothing when you're looking at bright screens. And then, as I said, this happens to be a photochromic that Leisure made this way. So, you know, you can have these made in your prescription, or if you don't need prescription, these come off the shelf exactly like this, ready to go. Turns to, what does it turn to? Does it go from copper to gray? I
think it does go to gray.
Yeah, so that's a gray color.
With a blue backside anti-reflective.
You have a blue color backside anti-reflective coating, which we haven't really hit on that much, but that's super important. Anti-reflective coatings is particularly on the backside of a sunglass lens, because you don't want reflecting light off the back of the lens distracting you, causing you to see reflections of things behind you. So you really want that anti-reflective coating. So this is the Leisure Society Victor in silver, 18 karat rose gold plated. And if you all are not familiar with Leisure Society, definitely check these out. You can check these out on hicksbrunson.com. They're made from Japanese block titanium, and lots of 18 karat gold plating, lots of limited edition pieces here. And this is the Victor in 18 karat gold with a brown inlay. And this is just a great, beautiful design. I like this brown panel work here. I like how shiny it is. And I don't even know if you can see the laser engraving detail work on top of the gold plating here. But this is basically a combination of a navigator, almost like an octagonal geometrical shaped aviator. It's a little bit of a box, a little too boxy to be an aviator, you know, but not quite rectangular enough to be what I would think of as a traditional navigator shape, but it's a really good look. And if you're looking for a really nice pair to create a custom tinted transitions lens look in, This is absolutely in my top 10 recommendations for that sort of look.
I'm going to talk about a couple that T. Henry has done. Excuse me. So this is the Evo. Evo already has an indoor tint or an indoor-outdoor. It is a really soft pink, so it's really hard to see it. But when you put it on, you do notice that it's really blossomed up around my eyes very much because of the pink. This is not transition, but you could match this color that is in the lens, pair it with the transition. They also did the Evo with like a slight gray indoor tint. It is still light enough that you can clearly see the entire makeup of my eye. So if you're concerned that an indoor tint in a business setting may not be appropriate, certain colors, I'm gonna say, may not be the most appropriate. But if you do it light like this, you have the option of still being able to see your eye through the lens so that you can make that one-on-one visual contact if it needs to be that way in your business setting. But you can get it in great functional frames. It's just a really cool option to be able to have this in your eyewear arsenal.
All right, we got to run through some of the best hits, almost rapid fire, because we're coming up against a hard break. We really appreciate everybody being here with us, both on Instagram and on YouTube. So, T. Henry Countach, kind of a royal blue color with gold-plated titanium work. And this is a great design by T. Henry. Now, this is a little dark for an indoor tint. I mean, what would you say this is, about a 50%?
That's probably a 50%.
50%.
Because it's harder to see your eyes.
Harder to see my eyes. This is what we would call an indoor-outdoor tint. So these are almost dark enough that they're comfortable in the sun, but they're not quite as dark as a true Category 3 outdoor sun tint. But you could do a light blue tint in this, similar to what I showed you earlier here. You could do a light sky blue gradient tint, and that frame would look fantastic. Limited edition Countach by T. Henry. Countach?
I think it's Countach.
I think it's Countach.
I mean, that's the way I've been saying it for however long we've had it. So if not, I apologize, T. Henry, that I'm mispronouncing your frame. So this is by Anna Corinne Carlson. This also has a gradient indoor tint. On a frame like this, you can do an oversized, pair it with an indoor tint, and it actually makes the lens look a little bit smaller because you don't have all of that clear negative space. So keep that in mind. If you want to do an oversized, but you're like, man, that just looks really big, throw an indoor tint in there, pair it with some transitions, and then you get double work out of it.
All right, I showed you my Anna Corinne Carlson Le Chap at the start of the stream. Anna Corinne also makes this gorgeous piece, the Le Boss.
Yes.
Le Boss, right?
It's a little sparkly, but we love it.
It's a little sparkly, a little?
Okay,
all right.
I mean,
look at the size of these stones right here. This is like this is a lot sparkly. Look at all those giant.
It's not quite Liberace, but you know, it's
I guess it's not all the way around.
It's not
quite like full on Elton John, but look at those Austrian crystals, gold plating, titanium, large crystals here, thick eye wire with the AKK Anna Corinne Carlson logo coined all the way around. So this is a gorgeous piece. That's about a 40% brown, like amber gradient tint. You pair that with a transitions brown, maybe throw a gold mirror on it, and then you've got a fire pair of eyewear. And then maybe Anna Corinne's
that's what is it?
Crystal Boo.
Crystal Boo.
Crystal Boo, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So when you're going to the Met Gala or wherever you're going that you want to stand out from the crowd, you throw on Crystal Boo and look at this. Just look at that sparkle, right? So not necessarily my look, but if you are someone
I don't think it's necessarily my look either, but
you know who you are.
Yes, this is definitely Met worthy. I mean, this has got Met Gala written all over it. Maybe even Cinco de Mayo, a little bit of party in that.
Yeah.
I mean,
gorgeous eyewear.
Gorgeous.
And limited edition, Becky Jo, what? She only makes about 40 or 50 in numbers each pair of her pieces, just like T. Henry. So
this one is number 56 of 170. So she actually did 170 170 of these for the entire world.
That's worldwide.
That is worldwide.
Yeah, Anna Karin Carlson, out of Sweden. Beautiful, beautiful eyewear. You're not going to see anything else like what she produces, but we've got to run. It's been fun, guys.
Yes, it has.
Thanks so much for everybody being here on both YouTube and Instagram, streaming live from Hicks Brunson Eyewear Studios. Friday morning, 9:30 Central Time. Everybody have a great weekend. We will see you